In our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump. He tried to steal the last election using lies and violence to keep himself in power after the voters had rejected him. He is a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters. He lost his election, and he lost big. I know it, he knows it, and deep down, I think most Republicans know it. Lynn and I are so proud of Liz for standing up for the truth, doing what's right, honoring her oath to the Constitution, when so many in our party are too scared to do so. Liz is fearless. She never backs down from a fight. There is nothing more important she will ever do than lead the effort to make sure Donald Trump is never again near the Oval Office. And she will succeed. I am Dick Cheney. I proudly voted for my daughter. I hope you will too.
Talk about a reemergence. Jesus, in the middle of the woods too. Dick Cheney there, former vice president, of course, under George W. Bush, war criminal. You guys know the history of Dick Cheney. He is now advocating for Liz, his daughter and congresswoman, who is one of the co-chairs of the January 6th special committee that investigated what Donald Trump was up to as his MAGA troops ran up on the Capitol. That is the sticking point that's going on with her now, because after they censured her back in early in 2021 over what she's been saying and doing about this whole thing, her party there in Wyoming, she's now shifted and be like, I'm gonna stick to this, I'm gonna keep it going no matter what, which I guess is admirable. But now she's employed her old man in the fight as well, maybe because she's not doing so well in her state, which is expected. I mean, I guess I'll give her this. It's expected from her and her people. They knew this would happen, but they're standing up for what they believe in. So there's one particular aspect of this that went through in this AP article that talked about the struggles that she's having. There was a big rodeo, and this was crazy to me as it was a big rodeo that was that's happening up in Wyoming back at the end of July, and as people were there, trying to, I guess politicians will go there to try and generate some votes, let everyone know what they're all about, and win this election. Liz Cheney was actually in DC, as this article pointed out, and she was actually doing this instead of trying to get some votes for herself out in Wyoming.
Donald Trump made a purposeful choice to violate his oath of office, to ignore the ongoing violence against law enforcement, to threaten our constitutional order. There is no way to excuse that behavior. It was indefensible. And every American must consider this. Can a president who is willing to make the choices Donald Trump made during the violence of January 6th ever be trusted with any position of authority in our great nation again?
People in Wyoming took notice, specifically Dean Finnerty. He's a rancher from Wheatland, and he was competing at that same rodeo and cowboy competition that I was talking about. In the steer wrestling competition, he was not moved by what she was saying. He says this: I tell you what, I voted for Cheney when she ran last time, and I won't vote for her ever again. I don't know if she's representing the conservative Americans that voted her in. Many Cheney allies are prepared for, if not resigned to, a loss in Wyoming's August 16th Republican primary against Trump-backed challenger Harriet Hageman. Facing consistent and credible death threats as well, Liz has been forced to abandon traditional retail campaigning, trading public rallies and town halls for private events where her presence is often revealed to the public only after their conclusion, if at all. So think about what you want to do if you're a politician. You have to tell people, yeah, I was there campaigning. Maybe you want to vote for me instead of me being there campaigning. Again, I think this is based on pretty good principles of at least trying to preserve some level of our democracy. This is gonna get deeper though, you guys. Let's go to graphic 5. This is from her people. She goes, she knew that she was shooting herself in the foot politically in Wyoming, and she was going to walk around with a limp for the rest of her life. That's what Landon Brown said. He's a Wyoming state representative and a Cheney ally. But I could see this blossoming into something larger. You see where this is going, Yaz? Something larger, huh? Cheney, who's a 55-year-old daughter of Vice President Dick Cheney, of course. She's best known among this small group of so-called, quote, never Trump Republicans that are weighing presidential bids for 2024. Now it makes sense. They include Larry Hogan from Maryland, Cheney's only Republican colleague on the January 6th commission, who's Adam Kinzinger, and he opted not to seek re-election this fall instead of going through what she's going through. Now, The only way that Liz Cheney is going to continue to, I think, clean up her Cheney image, because we know how the Cheney name connects when it comes to Democrats, progressives. We know what actually happened with those folks. In order to do that, she needs help. Here's a little bit of help from CNN's Casey Hunt as she has this softball interview with Liz. Let's watch.
My message is one for all Wyomingites. I represent every single person in this state, and I believe that there are thousands and thousands of people across our state who fundamentally understand why it's so important to have somebody who's going to abide by her oath of office.
They might be Democrats who would vote for a Cheney.
Yeah.
Pretty remarkable. You said in your Reagan Library speech, men are running the world and it's really not going all that well. Do you think voters here in the US are ready for a woman to run things?
Sure.
Based on that, do you think your father, does Dick Cheney want Liz Cheney to run for president in 2024?
Dick Cheney is a big Liz Cheney supporter. Say that.
Is he encouraging you to run?
Listen, I talk to him every day about many things, and certainly, his concern. Look, like I am right now, he's really focused on this moment and on what's happening.
Or just like the record to reflect that you did not say that Dick Cheney is not telling you to run for president in 2024.
Yes, it's all making sense now. You just need a little bit of help from Democrats. You need help from maybe CNN. You can't get the help from Fox News and Newsmax because they're too conservative. She has to be a crossover. Now we're seeing where it's going. I've been saying this for months though. We knew this was happening.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like in one breath she said that yes, I think more moderate Democrats would vote for me, but then she also said Dick Cheney is a big supporter of me, which seems like two very conflicting ideologies. But let's not pretend that Dick Cheney is a good guy. He's not, and he never has been. I don't think he suddenly is today just because he's supporting his daughter, which is the decent thing to do. But we can all acknowledge all of that while still being grateful for what he's doing to stand up against Trump now. And that includes acknowledging that Dick Cheney laid a lot of the groundwork for a guy like Trump to come to power when he was in office, when he was the vice president. But like it or not, he's a Republican legacy. And the fact that now he's being branded as being anti-Trump and now he's a rhino, that's going to hurt the Republican Party as it is. But the thing is, I don't think the MAGA wing, as you call it, I don't think they care about that, right? They're not trying to be more inclusive in their messaging. They're trying to remake this party to be more exclusive. They want to exclude more people from it. They want a very specific type of person in their party and nobody else. They're really not interested in diluting their message to be more inclusive to people. So I think this is part of it. If you start alienating people like Dick Cheney from your Republican Party, it's something else at that point.
It's crazy, but you know what? And maybe it's not so crazy. This is pretty easy to see. I mean, it's this new wave of crazed Republicans. They're MAGA, and now that's what the Republican Party is. They mentioned also, I think Liz said in that interview as well, my father and I are horrified at what's happening to the party. We understand how it got here. I can tell you how it got there. You guys are part of it.
They were a big part of that, yeah.
But the media will be part of laundering her image and possibly his, I guess, for people who weren't old enough or didn't pay attention back then.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. It's the next stage of the battle.
Guys, yeah.
Look for Liz and whoever 2024. That's what we're looking at. Maybe if Democrats help, that's basically what that call was for.
So predictable though. Who didn't see that coming?
I mean, come on. Let's keep it going.